Probably, I just want to open with a couple of words, and then I'll just take a few questions, not too many, so make them good ones. You'll have one in there somewhere, Justin. So, first of all, so today finished as the Fremantle Football Club coach. I'd just really like to acknowledge, probably come in under controversial circumstances, but 12, 13, 14, 15, the group went to places I wasn't sure they could go, and they weren't sure, but they led by Pavlich and McFarlane. Monday, it was great players, and experienced some big finals and big games, and a lot of winning football, and that was a great period. Probably the most special game was the prelim, and the noise at that stadium in the grand final, the march across the purple haze. So to the purple haze, the partners, the big partners, Woodside program, Chris Sullivan, Peter Coleman at Woodside. We're a big club. We've got enormous support, 50,000 plus members, and the noise and the passion is undeniable, and I thank them for that ride. And I know the players love it. Even on the weekend, challenging times, but I think there was 48,000 there. So the club's in a really good position. I'd really personally like to thank, and on behalf of my family, Steve Harris and Steve Rossich and Chris Bond, that were instrumental in getting me across, and the support from my family and from the whole club, the commercial operations team. There's some really special people in there, long-serving executives that my whole time I've been unconditionally supported and given every resource. So I certainly really want to thank the club for that. And the Dockers will always hold a special place in my heart. We live in not so much the heartland, but we lived in East Fremantle for 4 years. Wanted to buy in Fremantle itself, but we're in the area. So it's ironic I've come to junior football club. So I just want to make that clear that the Dockers have been unbelievable. I would have liked to have finished next year when we've had our best available. We've beaten 6 of the top 8. We've been in the finals. We beat Geelong last week with 8 of our 16, best 16 out. But that's why I probably don't agree with the decision, but I certainly respect the decision. And for the reasons that there was no way that the club would extend me, I wouldn't have thought beyond 2020. The noise around that was a lot for them, and they wanted some clean air, and they made some big decisions. And as I said, don't agree with it, but I certainly respect it, and I wish them all the best. The player group, so that first player group, the 12 to 15, and then as we underwent the rebuild, 16, 17, 18, and now 19, where it looked like we could make finals, and we made some real ground. They're a really good group, some special young players. A lot of them have reached out, and I'll catch up with. I wish them all the best, and I think they're really well positioned. There's some challenges, obviously, to get more depth of talent through. But any players thinking about coming over, they're a big, strong club, powerful Perth club, and the flags will come. So, in the short term, I love football. Played junior football in the northern suburbs of Melbourne. The game itself's taken myself to places I never thought I'd go. It stretched me, particularly as a senior coach, assistant coach at the Swans. It still feels like home. The Swans with Richard Collis and Andrew Ireland and those sort of guys, and St Kilda players are really special, a special place, and a lot of them have reached out. So I've been really privileged. I love the game. I've loved coaching. It'll be a breath of fresh air for me. I've already enrolled at Harvard last week, behavioural economics, the psychology of decision making. So I want to keep stretching myself and growing. I feel I've matured, but I leave not having achieved what I want to, but the club, I wish them all the best, and I'll watch with interest, and particularly this weekend. So happy to take a couple of questions, but not too many.
Do you want to keep coaching, Ross? Do you want to keep coaching?
What reason did the board actually give you?
Yeah, well, there's no real. It was just that it was just really simple. They made a decision. From there, a lot of it's a moot point. They understood the challenges with injury. That they acknowledged that, but probably weren't prepared. Well, I think Dale and the presser said they weren't prepared to go through next year knowing that they wouldn't extend me even if it was successful. And there was a lot of pressure for the club to bear, and there's a lot of threads that get wrapped into that, so I certainly understand that.
You feel like you've never coached better, don't you, and that you were the man to take it forward. Why
Yeah,
did
but
they-
it's an opinion business. I think you respect everyone's opinion, and it is a moot point. I just really want to acknowledge the unconditional support and the great time. I feel I couldn't have worked any harder. As I said to the players, I would sign it again. And the ride is worth the fall. It's an amazing ride. And look, we've had our combative moments, but the press is. I certainly wanted to give you the opportunity. I say wouldn't camp out the front of my place for the next week, but I know you won't do that from here. So, but yeah, I don't take it personally. There's always different people, different opinions and agendas, but it's really our broadcast partners, Seven West Media, are unbelievable, Foxtel, and I always want to engage that. And without you guys, the content's not out there and the fans aren't following. So it is an important part.
Do you have aspirations to continue?
It's not something I've thought about. I've loved the ride. Obviously, what I see there's 3 grand finals. Opportunities in 3, got smacked in the replay, but I've had great groups and driven, and look, it's something I want to keep. I've been stretched. When I first got the job, Rudd Butters said senior AFL coaching takes grown men to places they should never go, and at the time I thought, what are you talking about? But now I understand that. So I just want to keep trying to grow. It's a short ride. We're not here forever. So if I can keep improving, I've got something to offer somewhere. But I need to go gather myself. I've got 3 young kids that are connected, obviously, particularly in this state. That it's a big connection, football and all their friendship groups. So they're 13 and below. So they're a little bit rattled at the minute. So I'll wrap some support around them.
Where do you need, if you do go again, where would you need to improve? You said you want to keep on improving. What area of your coaching do you think you want to get better
Well, that's
at?
just a bit specific. It's not the forum for that. I think I do a lot right. But
What about Steve Rosic though, Ross, as well? He obviously backed you in, and he's decided or they decided he had to go as well.
yeah.
It's quite unusual, isn't it? Your club's profit, and you've got great premises. So he sort of did his job, but he stood by you, and he's gone as well.
Yeah, well, as we said, it's an opinion business. The boards are empowered to act. They've acted. I think Steve would be in the same position. He's had a great ride, 3 years longer than me. I think he's overseen the most successful period of growth in finals football in Fremantle's history. So short history, but we all want it to be richer than it is at the minute.
Would Dockers have given it a good crack if you made the final?
Pardon?
Would the Dockers have given it a good crack if you made the final?
I don't understand the question.
This year. Well, they were saying that there wasn't a depth there if the Dockers had made the final.
Well, I think what they're saying with 8 of our best 16 out, we would have limped in maybe. But plus 55 contested ball on the weekend, plus 22 ground ball and 60 entries. The players are having a big go. So look, they'll get 3 key forwards back in. You'll get 4 of your back 7 in. You'll get your mobile ruck in, and hopefully they can attract some talent. They're clearly engaging some people interstate, and good luck to them.
Ross, tell us
Would
about
you be able to see the fruits of your labour and see out the rebuild, to see the fruits of going through those tough periods?
Yeah, I would have loved it. I was strong enough and tough enough to go through next year, and squarely focused when it's at its hottest. I feel, the eye doctor though, I think our coaching group and all of us and the players were focused. So, yeah, there's always that pang, but it's a tough, brutal game, and I really respect Lee Matthews, as we all do. Never complain, never explain, and that's really my fundamental position here. So most of the questions that are going to come from here.
Ross, you were really confident and bullish publicly throughout the year about holding on to your job, but deep down, were you fearful at all of the board's position?
No, but let me put that in context. I've never coached a week where I haven't thought I might lose my job. So I remember speaking to Chris Scott about international rules. I said, even when we won 20 in a row at St Kilda, I was never confident I'll keep my job. That's just the way I think.
And
When were you told?
Yeah, well, ironically, I'd made an appointment to see Harley Benal. I sent an email through. I'll be off site until 10 o'clock, just giving Harley some advice at Utong and Lincoln in Fremantle, funnily enough. So, but Peter Bell rang and said, mate, you need to get here at 9 o'clock and have a meeting with Dale and Craig. And I thought it was unusual Steve wasn't there, so I thought, well, Steve's in trouble. And then I thought I'll ring my lawyer because I might be in trouble. And I thought it's either one or two of us, so it was two of us.
Ross,
What do you
at
do
what
from-
point did you find out that they weren't willing to extend your contract beyond next season? And what did you think at the time when?
Well, that's a moot point. There was never asked for an extension. I didn't think it was pertinent for myself in particular, let alone the club. So there's a good sign. So,
Yeah, so what do you say to the fans, Ross? Because obviously.
yeah, what I said earlier, like unbelievable. There's always going to be different opinions, but my experience is all engagement. And when you're winning in this town, it's an amazing town. It's a small town, big connections. When you're winning, you know, the 5,000 fans at the airport, the chanting and all that. So they're cherished memories. As I said, I saw that the Dockers walk across to the MCG from Fed Square, and it was really powerful. And yeah, they were special times. They go with you forever. So, you know, I'll never write a book. I'll never do anything. They're my memories, and they're very special. Sydney, Swan, St Kilda and here. So
Does
thanks,
the luck
guys.
of a flag still burn for you, Russ?
Yeah, we all want to win flags. That's how we want to define ourselves. But obviously at this point that hasn't occurred. So thank you and goodbye.
Thanks, Ross.